Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Lee Van Dam here, and we're back in Raid Shadow Legends. Got a new event. It's the Summon event. What makes these so cool in raids is that the events give you a lot of rewards for summoning units. So it creates these periods where, unless you're summoning for the daily quest, it's not really necessary to summon all the time. So you end up with a lot of crystals, and it can make for some really nice pull videos, which is cool. I don't have a lot of crystals now because they just had an event which was interesting. We had a summon tournament, or basically a tournament where you get units any way possible. So you got them as either summoning through the shards, you got them through beating map levels, so that way they could be drops. There's a lot of ways to get the units, but this one's going back to the old school. Got 10 shards that we especially want to summon because they're going to give us the most points, which is going to lead to extra energy. It's going to lead to, as far as combining materials, it leads to money, all kinds of stuff, and eventually skill books, which are pretty strong in this game because your character really doesn't get to the next level until you start investing skill books in them. Not every unit benefits well from skill books, but they're great to have. What's interesting about void units is that they don't have a weakness as far as the other units are concerned. So they deal the same damage and they take the same damage from everybody. And what's also important is they cannot generate weak hits. Weak hits are really big in this game. If your element attribute is weak against someone else, there's a 30% chance you'll deal a weak hit, which means not only do you deal less damage, but if that weak hit had a chance to proc a status ailment, it will never proc on a weak hit. Like, you're guaranteed to fail applying a status ailment on a weak hit. So they can become really important, especially if your game revolves around poison or turn meter manipulation or things where weak hits can really make those skills useless. So let's go ahead, pull, see what we get, and then after that, I've got some exciting news. I've got my Marksman with the Relentless set finished up. Well, I've got him to 6-star, so I'm leveling him now, but it has really helped me out in my clan boss exponentially. So I do want to run clan boss one time with my Marksman amped up. He's got that, and he also has War Master. And that's been really big because now he can deal a lot of extra damage on his extra turns. So we're going to check that out. I'm going to run one at the end. Oh no. Oh, here we go. All right, so Fellhound. Fellhound, decrease speed, debuff for 2 turns. That's okay. It's not really that great. Continuous heal. It's a continuous heal. And then you can get 15% reflect. It sounds really good, but I've heard that he sucks. And deflect, places block damage buff on ally for 1 turn. Very interesting support unit with reflect damage and continuous heal, but I don't really have a place for him on a team right now. So on to the next one. Bellower. Okay, so Bellower is a unit that I've been looking for a while. He's really great for, like, say if you're creating food, which is leveling up units for them to be sacrificed for other units to rank up. Really great for leveling up food, and this is why. His ability that has no cooldown attacks all enemies, and it has a 20% chance of placing a block cooldown skills debuff for 1 turn. So that's also really good in arena, because if you can block cooldown skills, then you're forcing the opponents to use their regular attack, which not every unit is going to be geared to take advantage of their regular attack. So it's pretty cool. Mighty Bellow attacks all enemies, 50% chance of placing 15% decreased speed. That's okay. Bowl Over also attacks all enemies. Decrease attack debuff is pretty good. It can be ascended to do decrease attack and decrease defense. All of that's really solid, but what you're looking for is Frazzle. I mean, if you're going to use him, you'll have better debuffers, but Frazzle's going to be crazy, especially in arena. If you can get the block cooldown all the way up to 30%, man, oh man, that's rough. That is rough. Okay, cool. So I've been looking for Bellower. Everyone's telling me he's really good. All the video reviews and all the players I've asked, so that's cool. Okay, we got Vanguard. All right, let's look at Vanguard. Gathering momentum. Decrease debuff if the target's defense is lower than this champion's. I guess this is a defense. Okay, it's defense based. All right, makes sense. Provoke if under decreased defense. Okay, that's not bad. And then Dismay the Foe decreases the duration of all buffs on attacker when hit by an enemy under a provoke debuff. Wow. Okay, so I wonder if you can create kind of a duo with him, since you won't necessarily have to be provoked by him for this passive to go off. That's pretty cool. I mean, I just finished up Iron Blood, just testing something out, and it's a pretty neat gimmick, so all right. Might have to figure something out for you, just for fun, you know. Marquise. Okay, Marquise. Demon Spawn. Decrease speed debuff. Okay. Infernal skill, counterattack, and continuous heal. That's interesting. Paralyzing bolts. 35% chance of placing sleep debuff. This debuff cannot be removed if you ascend it. Okay. And increase force ally hit points in all battles by 18%. This is very interesting since the sleep debuff cannot be removed. You know, sleep is one of those things where it's all right. In this game, there's a lot of units that have no way to not deal area of effect damage. So if they come behind the person that's sleeping, that can make things useless real quick. So, you know, sleep not being able to be dispelled though, that could be great, because you can make a fire focused team and then have paralyzing bolts keep people under wraps for a whole round, kind of like stun. So that becomes a little bit stronger since it can't be dispelled. I'm running Doom Priest, and she dispels a debuff every single round from everybody. So, you know, that would be very helpful versus my team, to be honest with you. So now we're going to do the Ancient Shards. Ancient Shards can pull any element, and we start off with an epic. Ooh, Frostbringer. That's cool. I did not have her, but I know she's been very cool when I've seen her in arena. Check this out. Cones of Cold. Attack 2 enemies at random. 15% chance of placing 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. Okay. And you can get the debuff chance up to 35%. Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, I've got Cold Heart, and she's doing that right now. But, okay, that's pretty good. Let's see what happens. Snow Flurry. Attack 3 times at random. Place 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns if the target has a heal reduction debuff. So it's interesting because she's working like Cold Heart in the fact that she's doing things based off heal reduction. So she could definitely benefit from speed. She doesn't have the crit requirement of Cold Heart yet, but let's see what else she's got. Arctic Winds. Okay, so places a 15% speed, 50% increase attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. Okay. So this is really good because speed is very important because, of course, it allows you to attack faster. It doesn't have the turn meter boost that Apothecary does, but it has the 50% increase attack buff that my Doom Priest does. So this is very interesting, and she can do it every 4 turns once it's built up. Okay, so that's really neat, really neat. So with her, I could possibly do another healer, ally defense in dungeons by 33%. Okay, pretty solid. I like her gear. She looks like a lot of fun. I don't know how I'm going to use her yet, but she looks very cool. Very cool. All right, so we got an epic, so that's very nice. And what's interesting, the points are now based off of the shards, and they're not based off of what you pull. So even if I pull legendaries from the blue shards, they're less points. Wanderer, okay, so I've got Wanderer already. Leon, 15% for weaken debuff. Critical hit decreases target's turn meter by 10%. When you ascend the skill, it's a bigger swing because it lowers their turn meter by 10% and fills up the Wanderer's turn meter by 10%. So that's pretty good. Attacks one enemy will ignore 25% of target's defense. And ally attack in dungeons increased by 21%. Okay. For a 3-star, that's not bad. Slither Brute. Okay. Looks like Jizzo. He's a lizard man. Rusty Gash. 30% chance of placing a 15% decreased speed for 2 turns. Ascends to 30% decreased speed. If you ascend him, you could actually have him harass a lot of people if you built him to be fast and just decrease everybody's speed. I could see that working. Steals buff from them. That's really good, along with building him to be quick, because these 2 attacks don't really have anything to go for as far as improved critical damage, so speed would be good for that. Attacks one enemy, decrease target's turn meter equal to the amount of buffs on the target, and it's got a 4-turn cooldown. He's definitely a rogue type unit that just goes in and really messes with people. So people would want to kill him just because he messes with turn meter, he steals buffs, and he decreases speed. So that's actually pretty cool. Accuracy in dungeons 40%. Alright, that's pretty neat. I like how he's put together. So I don't know if I'd use him anytime soon, but I really like how he's put together. Greybeard. Okay, cool. Greybeard. Exposed weakness is a 50% chance for provoke. That's really good on a skill that has no cooldown, because again, you can build him with speed, or you could build him with extra turns, or you could build him as a counterattack unit, and he has 50% chance of putting provoke. So provoke, of course, not only do they target Greybeard, but along with targeting Greybeard, they only use their first ability, which has no cooldown. So that can really eliminate a lot of AoE attacks, especially if he's running counterattacks and he's able to provoke them on a counterattack. So that's very neat. Very neat. Attacks all enemies. 25% chance to place a freeze debuff for 1 turn. Yeah, freeze can be very strong Greybeard, and bring it on. Shield buff. 80% chance of placing a counterattack buff on this champion for 2 turns. So he has his own built-in counterattack for 2 turns to help him get this provoke off. Okay, that's nice. That's very nice. Okay, cool. And since I've already got Graybeard, I'm going to be sacrificing that unit to give him a skill up. Because you can do that with tomes, or you can do it with the actual unit. Choppa! Staggering hit. Attacks one enemy, 20% chance of placing, 30% decreased defense. Okay. Definitely not bad for a 3-star. Grapple. Now this skill hurts me so much when I'm farming. Not as much now, but oh man, it was killing me. Attacks one enemy, places a stun debuff for 1 turn if the target's current hit points is lower than this champion's current hit points. You talk about kicking you while you're down. Wow. Incapacitate removes 1 random buff. If you ascend it, removes 2 random buffs. Pretty good. And then increases ally accuracy in arena by 40%. Okay. And accuracy is really important for landing status effects. So, okay. It's a good 3-star. All right, last but not least, we've got Berserker. All-out attack. Now, he's farmable, so it's not that great to get him out of a shard because you can actually farm him just playing the game and get a bunch of them. Attacks one enemy, fills the champion's turn meter by 30% if this attack is critical. So you see already how you want to build him. You want to build him with high crit, so that way he not only attacks faster, but he attacks more often. Attacks all enemies twice, will ignore 20% of target's defense. That's pretty good. And Havoc attacks one enemy, grants an extra turn if the target is killed. So these can work together really well for the Berserker to attack multiple times in a row. So pretty solid. Pretty solid. As you saw, they're trying to sell me some tomes. No need to sell some tomes. I've got enough right now. I haven't pulled the unit where I need to drop them, so we're gonna keep going until I fill up. And then once I'm at cleanup, I'm gonna go to the clan boss. But we'll see if we can get any rares out of this. I always like Aristocrat. She's a lot of fun. War Chanter's interesting because I think War Chanter has Provoke on him too. Okay. Nothing as of note yet. Everything is farmable in the game. All the units so far are farmable in the game. You know, once you get up to Brutal, you can farm 3-star units too, so it's not like you always have to pull shards to get new units for food. Okay, and I should have one more. And then I'll level them up, of course, off camera. Cool, all right. Good deal. That got me some points. Nice. So I'll be able to work on that. I did get a new unit, so let's see which ones are new. Let's see which ones are new. Okay. So the Vanguard's new. How's the Void unit we talked about? I think most of them are going to be new. Sacred Order, yep. Frostbringer, she's new. She's very cool. And I do like when you come here, you can see how they look at 6-star, fully ascended, so that way you can get a really good idea of their stats and how things are going to work out. I think that's really smart. Really smart. Of course, everything that's that's highlighted, I've already received that unit at least once. Okay, Ogren Tribe. Okay, Belor, yeah. So I'll put Belor in my team. That's going to be leveling up over the week. Just getting ready. Chopper. Okay. And Marquise. Okay. And the Marquis and the Fellhound. Both of those were new for me. Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. I didn't know there are no common demon spawn. That's pretty interesting. And so we've got dwarves coming up. They haven't unlocked them yet, but you know, things are coming together. That's very cool. Very cool. All right, so go ahead to the clan boss. I'm so excited because the clan boss, I was able to get my biggest run at 13 million. I know it's on easy, still mid-tier, getting things together, but I was very excited by this when I hit this up. We're going to do normal, so that way other people will be able to knock out easy in the clan and get the rewards. But, you know, what's making the real difference is War Master. But actually, let's go look at it. We'll go look at the Marksman, because I'm really, really happy with him. Very happy with him. Okay, so go over the skills one more time, and then explain why I built him this way, and so far it is working out. Venom Arrow looks really solid. It's a 5% poison debuff if the attack is critical. So, and you have a 20% chance of granting an extra turn now. That's pretty cool. Impressive Shot. Attacks one enemy, fills the turn meter of all allies by 20%. It has an extra 15% chance of inflicting critical hit. See, it's maxed out, so it's down to 3 turns. And Thorns attacks 4 times. It has a 25% chance to ignore defense on each hit. And this has a 35% chance to ignore defense. It doesn't tell me how much defense is going to ignore, so that's interesting. I'm not sure how that's calculated. I'll probably research that a little bit later. And then in Arena, increases allies' defense by 32%. So pretty good arena unit if you're just starting out. That's very strong to have a lot of defense at the beginning when everybody's building their gear up. The big deal was War Master. And so with War Master, he has a 60% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. Bonus damage is equal to 10% of the target champion's max HP, or 4% of the target's max HP when attacking bosses. 4% is a lot. I think it caps out like 70,000, but it's a lot. Bonus damage can only occur once per skill and does not count as an extra hit. The reason I picked War Master on him instead of Giant Killer, which we can go look at Giant Killer. Giant Slayer. So Giant Slayer is very similar, but this part is very different. Bonus damage can occur on the hit of each skill, but does not count as an extra hit. So I've got Giant Slayer on Cold Heart because her first ability with no cooldown, it is a 4-hit skill. So Giant Slayer can proc up to 4 times. 2 out of 3 of his skills only have 1 attack. So the likelihood of 60% chance of dealing the extra damage versus 30% when it's only 1 attack makes a world of difference. And so War Master, it's working out for him well. I'm going to move it over to full screen, which is going to restart the music. I love the music. I love the Anti-Souls Mystery Lab and Lament of Innocence. And yeah, we're gonna work through this. And we're going to work through it on auto. So I'm just going to talk about high points. I'm not going to really focus on a bunch of stuff. Okay. So the way my team is built, I've got Apothecary for turn meter manipulation. Marksman also is turn meter manipulation, and what makes it so good for him is that since he can take extra turns, each extra turn from either his basic skill or the Relentless gear set is going to reduce the cooldown on his skills that have cooldown. So when he goes on a frenzy, he can increase the turn meter 20%, 40%, 60%, depending on how many extra attacks he gets. So he can fund full turns by himself for the whole party before the boss gets a chance. And that is so important because on the clan boss, your goal is to get as many attacks in as possible before he swings. And turn meter reduction doesn't work on him, so you're completely reliant on how fast you can build up your turn meter in between his attacks, because he gets a buff that improves his damage every round starting after the 10th. So it's just a race. It's really a race. Okay. So he got 2 turns there, and as you can see, he's got some extra damage from War Master. And crit rate is great because improving his crit rate, especially when he takes extra turns, are more opportunities for poison. And so when he goes on a good run, he can poison a ton, which is very cool. Okay, so we're doing pretty good. He hasn't, the clan boss hasn't been able to attack a whole lot, so that's good. Very nice. Heal reduction is really good for Cold Heart. It doesn't really do anything for the clan boss, but it allows her poison to stick. And her poison can last up to 3 turns because of her masteries. So that's very good for me. Tyrell's in there to reduce attack, which is going to become way more important later on in this fight once the boss starts getting buffs. I don't think I have anybody that's really effective at stealing buffs all the time. Or if I can get someone who has a normal ability, a basic ability that has a chance to remove debuffs, I'm probably going to have to try to figure them in to a team, because the buffs that the boss gets later on, they're crazy. Nice. So we got 3 shots off, got a poison, and then built everybody's turn meter, so he's doing well. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, decreased defense. So I'm gonna go 1 round without the reduced attack debuff. That's when stuff starts to get dicey once he doesn't have that debuff on him. So let's see how far we are in. Okay, we're not doing too bad. He hasn't attacked very often, so we're still doing fine. I love Doom Priest because Doom Priest, I have her relatively fast. I think she's up to 190 speed. And so every time her turn comes around, the passive allows her to remove a debuff. This boss doesn't have very many debuffs that he can put on at the same time since my team is moving so fast. So she usually clears up stuns so that way people do not lose turns, which is very important. He missed. Okay. Alright, you see the damage is starting to pick up now, so If we really wanted to, we would just manually have him A1 almost every turn, because he's using extra attacks that don't really make too much sense. But oh yeah, the damage is starting to get up there now. There we go. Doom Priest covering it up. Very nice. No stun for you, sir. No stun. Okay. Got the attack debuff back on, so we're in good shape. Doing well. Okay, good. Very nice. Got the extra turn on the attack debuff that time too, so it's going to last for 3 rounds. That's super solid. Okay. So we're getting to the point now where if I miss the attack debuff, probably going to start killing characters. So hopefully we can keep it on and we won't have too many misses. We've got 3 attempts usually before we're in trouble. So let's see what happens. That hurt with the debuff on. Ooh. Nice, got an extra turn. Got another extra turn, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. Okay, yep. So as you can see, even with the decreased attack debuff on, that hurt a lot. So these next hits, if I don't get that debuff back on, are not going to be nice. Got some poison on. Resisted again. Uh-oh. Here we go. Woo! Marksman down. Woo! Yeah, okay, we got the debuff back on, so we may get a couple of rounds in. Cool. Healed Cold Heart, very nice. So that's going to be some good DPS, especially since we've got the debuff on. Should get a round of poison in, and we should get another Heart Seeker before he kills us. Very nice. Very nice. There's the poison. Okay. Okay, so he's definitely going to kill somebody this round. Okay. All right, cold hearts down. All right, so we're wrapping everything up. We'll see how the damage works out. Wow. Okay, she's still holding on. Doom Priest. Doom Priest. Have a good day. Okay. All right, so 6.5 on normal. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, big thing is on auto. I'm not always getting the decrease attack debuff on there, and with Tyrell on auto, I don't know why. Well, the computer's using preemptive strike, which has no benefit on this fight. But you know, if I can get another unit in there instead of Tyrell that has an A1 that auto attacks and gives you defense debuff, that'll be great. If you know of one, let me know in the comment section below. Let me see if I've got them, and I'll train them up to replace Tyrell, because I really just need the attack debuff and defense debuff. And Tyrell's amazing because he has both, and preemptive strike in every other situation is really good, just not here, because you can't reduce the turn meter of the clan boss. So there we go. That's where we're at. One thing I am debating on, as you can see with the Marksman, just to go back to him one last time, I was trying out counterattack to see if I could. I was going to think about trying out counterattack to see if I could snag some extra attacks. As of right now, it did not work, so I'm back to attack and support, so that way he can build his turn meter faster and get things going. I was wondering if you could interrupt someone and just kill them with extra skills, but I think the game's coded not to do that. But yeah, he's coming along well. I'm really excited, you know, as far as damage is concerned. In easy earlier today, he posted like almost 7 million. So without consistent poison, that's really, really good for me. You know, hopefully I'll start getting those units that can really whittle the boss down with multiple poisons every single round. But hey, I appreciate you as usual coming by. If you like this, be sure to throw me a like. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do it and share the videos. You know people that I don't know, and if you really think they would like looking at what we have to offer, please share. I definitely appreciate you. Hope you're having a great day, and I'm having a fantastic day as usual. Glad to be alive. Glad that you were able to come hang out with me, and while we play a little bit of Raid. Brave Exvius, I should be knocking that out on Tuesday or Wednesday. And so if I don't see you until then, this is Lee Van Dam. You guys take care, and God bless. I'll see you later.